Hello, I'm Charles from Charles and Photography. It's Tuesday the 24th of February. Now on Saturday I came down here to a new wetlands reserve at Dohles Rocks and I took quite a lot of photos. I photographed I think 15 different bird species in the morning, but because this was a new place I actually didn't bring my Osmo Mobile 3 because the person who had told me about this had told me that it was very swampy, you had to walk through water, so I was just a little bit concerned of trying to hold two things in the hands, so I left the Osmo Mobile at home. And what I did find that I really wanted to take a little bit of video, but the video that I took, because I was hand holding, was a little bit jerky, so I decided to scrap the video. And because I'm not doing anything this morning, so decided to quickly zip down here and take a bit of video to go with the photos that I took last Saturday morning. So at least you guys will actually see the sort of habitat very clearly, and I'll point out where the photos that were taken on Saturday morning. So now we've just gone past Osprey House here, and this is the lagoon here, so like 2 minutes and we're at the lagoon. I'm just slowing down, but it's full and there's just hardly any bird life here. This place is best when there's quite a bit of mud still on the edges, so not totally dry but not all the way up anyway. So now we're in Dohles Rocks. This is a very small little suburb. This place is so easy to find. All you have to do is you just go all the way to the end of the road here when you come down to Dohles Rocks. The Pine River is just to our right here. There's some bird life here sometimes, but not many waders. Never seen many waders here. Now when we come here, we just turn to the left to Cormorant Road. It's a no-through road. We just take it nice and easy. And we only go 100 meters down the road. And we're actually looking straight ahead at this reserve area here. So it's just behind this gate here. So I'm actually just going to pull up here on the side and I'll gear up. Now, one thing, if you come here, you definitely have to bathe yourself in mozzie repellent. There is so many mozzies here at the moment. Well, here we are. This is the area that we're going in now. This is the Wetlands Reserve. I'm actually going to break off a little branch here because it'll actually help me to stop the mozzies. Now I was here Saturday morning and it looks like some of the water's already actually gone down a bit. Actually, I'm surprised the mozzies aren't that bad. When I got out of the car, they were biting me so quickly. Where I'm walking now, Saturday morning, I was just getting eaten alive. Now, when you're walking through places like this, you've really got to be careful of little slithering creatures. Talking about snakes. Now, this area here, this is where I actually photographed the grey fantails. They were just flirting around me all around here. The rainbow bee-eaters were around here as well. From the car to the swamp, or to the wetlands, is around, let's say, 5 to 10 minute walk. You've just got to be very careful when you're walking along, especially if you're carrying camera gear, because you fall over. So the water's gone down a little bit since Saturday here. This is another spot where the grey fantails were. And if I just turn around, I'll post a couple of photos right in front of me here, in this branch here, were where the fantails were. And at one stage, if I swing the camera around this way, you guys see that little branch right in front of me? This little one here? Well, there was a grey fantail sitting there, like 1.5 meters from me. Just way too close for me to take a photo of, but oh gee, it was just so nice seeing wildlife. I love photographing it, but sometimes just to appreciate the wildlife, it was just great. There's some pretty big dead trees above us here, and this is where the rainbow bee eaters were. And in this tree here, it's pretty well backlit, but this is where I actually spotted some sacred kingfishers. And the one that I photographed was actually a juvenile. You could tell that by the feather colours on his chest, or on its chest. I don't know whether it was a male or female. So now we're just about the end of the track with the trees and all that, and it opens up from here. Just bogmire here. I'm trying not to slosh in the stuff, but you can hear some ducks in front of me. Now you guys can probably see why I said I actually wasn't carrying something in both hands, because recipe for disaster here. Wow. The mozzies here, oh man. I got about 10 of them sitting just on my Osmo mobile. You can see it's pretty swampy. We've got barbed wire fence and deep water on the left. Now, to give you an idea of where we've come from, I'll just slowly swing around. So there's a fence line there, and we just came through those bushes there. Now, I've only come here at high tide, and today we're close to high tide as well. So I think a lot of the waders that I photographed, I think they're red-capped plovers. And another one, I should have taken my little notebook, but I'll drop them in the video here anyway, you'll see. These were just in front of me. On Saturday there was a group of peewees, about half a dozen of them, just in front here. Just having a good old feed, but very skittish. And just in this little lagoon here, just a puddle here on the right, there was quite a lot of Australian white ibises. Some people call them bin chicken. And as I approached it, half of them took off, and I got a little bit closer, and the other half, the rest of them took off. And I got a couple of really nice in-flight photos. I just love photographing birds in flight. Not the easiest thing to do. A lot of hit and misses, but it's so rewarding when you actually get them. Here we go. Just there, right in the middle there. Zoom out a little bit and I'll see if I can get a little bit closer. This is where I actually photographed the waders, and the two of them are there. The two species that I photographed are there again today. And you'll see in some of the photographs that I actually end up getting very close to them. Now this was endurance, because even though it was very swampy, I was actually on my knees and I slowly crawled to them. And I think I got within about maybe 10 meters of them, which are doing fairly well for these little skittish birds before they sort of spooked and took off. Some Pacific black ducks just flying over. I can hear them like they're a little bit spooky today. Of course, because I'm standing up. The little red-kneed, I think, or red-capped plovers, I think that's what they're called. There would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'd say a good flock of about 50 of them here. There's a couple only about 10 meters. Now this is a trick with birds. You sort of blend into the environment and you don't make very sudden moves. Some of them will actually get very close. Like if I had my Nikon here, shooting with the 200 to 500, I'd actually get some really nice photos, but today's just video. And all they're doing is just scavenging, looking for food. They're a very small little bird, believe me, like I'd say at the most 8 to 10 centimeters long. So, you know, you've got to get close to them to get some really nice shots of them. There's another group. Whoop, there you go, flying away. Now also on Saturday, what I photographed just in this marshy grass here was some Australia Pipit. I can't see any yet. There was just 2 here on Saturday. They were very skittish, but I got a couple of nice photos, so I was pretty happy. Now you can see, because it's high tide, you can see all this water's in the marshland here. So at low tide, all this would be dry. I don't know, I'd have to come here at low tide to see if these little waders are here. But a lot of time they just like to be quite close to the water, because that's when all the insects and all that come out. So now we'll just walk along this fence line to give you an idea what you can find. But I can tell you, when I was here on Saturday, the rest of the walk all the way down to the far swamp, which I'm actually not going to walk all the way down, was pretty futile. The only beautiful bird that I was actually very happy to photograph was a Glossy Ibis in flight, and just had enough light to really light it up. That was a bucket list photo. Oh, look at the pelicans. Where are they? Look at them. Flying straight overhead. Beautiful photos. Well, that's if I had my camera with me. There's about a dozen of the little plovers down here, just resting in the marsh here. So it's, they definitely like having a bit of water around to forage in. Pelicans are just above us there, a little bit far. I walked to the fence line. On Saturday, while I was walking here, there was actually a whistling kite just circling. I was just pretty happy to get a couple of really nice photos. Well, nice, I think. End up with about 10 keepers. Well, today must be a very big tide, because on Saturday when I came through here, it was close to high tide, but there wasn't water here. So, goes to show how big this tide is. I'll have to look at home to see how high the tide is today. The pelicans actually, I can see them, they're actually circling, and they're going down into the swampland that I know is behind there. So I'll actually stop here, because this will give you a very good idea of the place anyway. Now in the next week or so, I plan to come back here, but through another road. There's a new housing development that's sort of just behind those trees there, and I think if I park the car there, it's only about, I think I've only got a couple of 100 meters to walk, and I'm at this other wetlands reserve. There's a very big lagoon according to Google Maps, so I'll have to go and check it out, because walking from here to there, one, is a very long walk, but two, it's very hard to get to. And I think if I walk the other way, it'll make it much easier. So on Saturday, when I was just walking back towards the car, well, leaving for home, there was actually a kangaroo just hopping, and he was going for the life of him. He was taking at least 2-meter hops. So hopefully for you guys that sort of are into photographing these sorts of birds, it's not a hard place to get to. And just bring some mozzie repellent, gumboots if you have them. Even if you're not taking photos, you're just using binoculars, just kneeling down, these little waders will come very close to you. And it's nice watching their behavior sometimes. So once I've actually taken a few photos, I might actually just look through the lens and just watch their little behavior. Always ready though to take a picture, and sometimes like you just see like one of the birds will just turn its head like crooked, like seemingly saying like, what are you doing, you know, like. Now the sun is pretty high, but we're actually walking towards it, so that's why you can't see the foreground too much. I'll see where all the little, oh yeah, they're still all here. Quite a big flock. They're actually a little bit more spread out now. They're searching for food. Let's see if we can get a bit closer to them. They're just in front of me here. You can, there you go. See them flying? There you go. Fly, fly. There you go. Very quick flyers. Where's the others come? Okay. Oh, so they're just in front of us here. We'll walk back and we'll see if we can just get a couple more in flight, hey? Dozen little birds. There they go. They're off and running. Two, four, six. There's 6 little birds here. Would have been nice with the camera because we've gotten some nice little reflections. Oh, they're all grouped together there. Oh, geez, that would have been nice. But it's all right. Oh, there they go, flying away. Sometimes it's fun not having a camera in your hand because you can actually see a bit more. I don't want to share the photos until the video's out because this way you guys actually see the habitat while you're seeing the photos. So I think the two of them combine very well. I do appreciate when people watch my videos because it's something that I want to do more and more of. I'd give YouTube a go. I'll see what it takes me like in about 12, 18 months time, but whether I get 100 followers, 1,000 followers, it still won't change the way I approach my photography. I'm very down to earth. When we were walking down, I told you that the grey fantail was just here, and there he is. He's actually just in here. I'll zoom in a bit, probably won't be very clear. I'll stop there. He's actually just in front of us there. There he is, you can see him flicking away. Now notice he's not going far, because if you don't make sudden movements, they'll actually stay quite close. They're very inquisitive. They hunt insects, so they're always flitting about. We got some willy wagtails around. And this is what I was saying before. You don't make much noise. You'll actually see so much wildlife. So now we're walking back towards the car. We're just about at the end of the track here. Well, it's just about 1 o'clock. We finished our walk now. Like I said on Saturday, I'm here wearing a camo jacket, camo shirt. Not so much because I want to blend into the environment, maybe about 20%. Sorry, mozzies are everywhere. Yeah, not so much because of the environment, but just to keep the mozzies off me. It also means like when I'm walking through the scrub, I'm not worried about getting scratched or anything like that. So it doesn't help, you know, wearing stuff like this. I always wear a cap. I find like keeps everything off my head. You can see like there's the track behind us. So thanks for watching. Like always, if you want to subscribe, click that little button down there. I'll post up the 2 videos, my latest 2 videos on my photo walks in the description just here. So see you next time on my next photo walk.